very good evening to everybody for another session of Gyanpedia. Today we have Umesh Zirpe, who is going to speak on mountaineering, the beautiful mountains, how they are climbed. I now request Apurva to please introduce Umesh to the audience, and then we'll proceed.
Yeah. Umesh Zirpe is a tax consultant by profession. However, for over 40 years, he has been actively pursuing mountaineering and has played a pivotal role in promotion as an important tool of much needed adventure education in the Indian society. Under his leadership, in Pune's Giripremi Mountaineering Club has successfully submitted over 8,000 meter mountains in 7 consecutive years till 2019. He is the only person in India to do so. For his outstanding contribution in the field of mountaineering, he has been awarded Maharashtra's highest Shiv-chhatrapati Adventure Sports Award. Umesh is the founder director of Guardian Giripremi Institute of Mountaineering (GGIM), and the first and only state-of-the-art mountaineering institute in southern India. Under his guidance at GGIM, over 10,000 students have undertaken various adventure education curricula. He is also the president of Maharashtra Giriarohan Mahasangh, the apex body for mountaineering in Maharashtra. Umesh is a renowned writer and author. His several articles and books on mountaineering have been published in leading publishing platforms across the country. Highlights: leader of the biggest successful civil expedition to Mount Everest, founder director of Guardian Giripremi Institute of Mountaineering, president of Akhil Maharashtra Giriarohan Mahasangh, author of Everest, Gosht Ek Dhyasachi, Mountaineering for Kid, Parvata Putra Sherpa, and numerous other articles of mountaineering. Founder member of Sarup Seva is an NGO and recipient of Shiv-chhatrapati Sports Award, Guru Mahatma Award, Award of Excellence by Top Management Consortium Foundation, and numerous others. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Apurva. I now request Umesh to proceed with the presentation and talk about yourself, talk about your journey, talk about the successes, and talk about things which you have not put on the presentation also.
So thank you very much, Farukji. And first of all, I thank all Gyanpedia members and especially my friend Sandhi Prakash Bede and Farukji for inviting me today for this wonderful session. And I think this is a very good opportunity for me to present something about mountaineering, which has been my passion for last 40 years. So yes, mountaineering is a very unique adventure sports. मतलब इसको तो adventure sports में there are 100+ adventure sports, and they are played on land, water, air. So तीनों जगह में है. But mountaineering को mother of adventure sports माना जाता है. इतना उसका importance है. And so I would like to share my life journey today in front of you. So thank you very much, all of you, for joining this session, and especially again Sandhiji and Farukji. Yes, so how mountaineering started, or how I started going in mountains, that is very interesting. So I was, my schooling was here in Pune. I did my schooling from Katari High School, Maharashtra Mandal's Katari High School, and in that days in 1976, when I was in 6th standard, our school started the first adventure club from Maharashtra. That is our principal, Apte sir, and our founder member, Captain Damle. They were of the view that people from our state, especially Marathi people, they lack in courage, they lack in adventure. So with that intention, they started a adventure club in our school. And I joined the mountain club without knowing anything about mountain. Just I learned that it is a very fun to go in mountains, to go in nature. I joined. That was my early age. and I was going for treks, small treks. I was wandering in beautiful hills of Sahyadris. We were taken to Fort Rajgarh, Raigad, Siahgarh, which are nearby Pune, and it was a beautiful life. Later on, after 1 year, there was an announcement in my school that from our 60-70 members of our adventure club, the school will select 11 kids and they will be taken for a high altitude trekking expedition in Indian Himalayas, in Uttarakhand. And that was something different for me. And literally, मैं सच बोलना चाहता हूँ. In those days, I was not too strong physically and mentally also. Because of a few incidents, I lost my mother in early age when I was in fourth. And somehow my मतलब nature जो था ऐसा डर लगता था कभी कभी. तो मुझे जो सपोर्ट किया है उस दिन में, तो my father, he supported me a lot because I thought that I must take part, and I started practicing a lot. And fortunately, I was selected in that 11 kids for the altitude 30 days adventure trekking expedition. But now, if my father contributed the fees, then only my entry was final. So I told my father, I requested him कि मुझे जाना है पापा इस ट्रेक में, और मुझे उस टाइम 500 रुपीज वाज द फीस. मेरे पेरेंट्स को, मतलब फादर को, बहुत सारे उनके रिलेटिव फ्रेंड्स बुला रहे, इस बच्चे को जी अभी कभी ज्यादा 200 किलोमीटर बाहर नहीं गया है पुणे से, तो व्हाई यू आर सेंडिंग इनटू हिमालय, और एक कुछ एडवेंचर करेगा, क्या करेगा, डू नॉट टेक दैट रिस्क. बट मेरे पिताजी ने एक ही कहा कि मुझे मालूम नहीं वो क्या करता है माउंटेन में जाके, लेकिन what I'm looking and what I'm observing in him, that there is something changes there. मतलब कुछ तो चेंज उसमें हो रहा है, and now he is not cowed by, मतलब उसमें अभी थोड़ा उसको, मतलब he is now bold, बोलनेस आ गया है. and definitely I'm going to support, और उन्होंने भेज दिया, and because of that मेरी एंट्री कंफर्म हो गई. and that was my first visit to Himalayas, and that was to Valley of Flowers, a beautiful mountain range in Garhwal Himalayas in Uttarakhand. 30 days we were there, and there was a final opportunity for me also, for which I was also lucky. Out of our 11 students from Qatar High School, I was the only student to reach the top of the mountain. 16,000 feet का एक mountain था, और उसके top पे जाके we have to unfurl our nation's flag and also our school banner. But क्या हो गया था उस वो दिन ऐसे थे कि 30 days हम लोग चल रहे थे. पीठ पे जो सैक था वो भी बहुत पुराने, उस टाइम जो आर्मी के जो पुराने सेकंड हैंड सैक मिलते थे वो लेके, हंटर शूज थे, और बहुत हम लोग थक गए थे. बड़े बड़े रोप्स थे गरवारे के, नायलॉन, वो जब हमें टाइट रस्सी खींच के लेके जाते तो कोई रेडी नहीं था स्टूडेंट से वो टॉप पे जाने के लिए. तो हमारे इंस्ट्रक्टर ने मुझे बोल दिया, क्योंकि हमारे साथ देयर वर 5 इंस्ट्रक्टर, और एक सुरेश करके जो इंस्ट्रक्टर था, आई वाज अ फेवरेट स्टूडेंट ऑफ हिम. उसने बोला, मुझे उमेश कुछ नहीं चाहिए, यू हैव टू गो ऑन द टॉप एंड यू शुड गो. बस उसने वही कहा. और शुरू में तो मैं रोते रोते आई वाज गोइंग, बट जैसे जैसे आई वाज क्लाइंबिंग द माउंटेन्स, मैं ऊपर जा रहा था, तो उस टाइम मुझे जो एक्सपीरियंस हो रहा था कि यस कुछ तो अलग है, स्नो में हम लोग ऊपर जा रहे थे, थोड़ा मजा आने लगा. जब मैं टॉप पे पहुंचा 16,000 फीट पे, और वहां जाके जब वो फ्लैग लेके फोटो निकाला, तो जो फीलिंग्स थे, आई कैन नॉट एक्सप्रेस दैट फीलिंग्स. बट जब स्कूल में वापस हम लोग पुणे आ गए, एक दिन था जब 1000 स्टूडेंट्स के सामने हम लोग खड़े थे, 11 लड़के, एंड ऑल अप्रिशिएटेड विद लॉट ऑफ, ये तालियां बजा रहे थे, कुछ कर रहे थे सब लोग, बच्चे हमारे एकदम खुश हो गए थे स्टूडेंट्स. तो वो जो प्राउड मोमेंट था वो मेरे लिए एक इतना अलग सा दिन था. एंड देन द जर्नी स्टार्टेड. फिर जो मेरा ट्रेकिंग शुरू हो गया, इट कंटिन्यूड. आफ्टर स्कूल आई जॉइंड कॉलेज. मैं मॉडर्न कॉलेज में पुणे में आ गया. कॉलेज का मेरा ग्रुप था. तो उस टाइम मुझे अभी ट्रेकिंग हम लोग कर रहे थे, बहुत सारे फोर्ट्स पे विजिट कर रहे थे. सह्याद्री में बहुत ही ब्यूटीफुल फोर्ट्स है, राजगढ़ है, आलम उलम, नासिक का रीजन है, बहुत सुंदर रीजन है नासिक का. वहाँ रतनगढ़ है, कलसुबाई विच इज द हाईएस्ट माउंटेन इन सह्याद्रीज. हम लोग ट्रेकिंग कर रहे थे. लेकिन अभी थोड़ा मुझे रॉक क्लाइंबिंग में इंटरेस्ट चालू हो गया है, और मुझे लगा अभी आई हैव टू लर्न दिस टेक्निक्स, सो आई जॉइन यूथ हॉस्टल्स एसोसिएशन ऑफ इंडिया, उसका जो पुणे ब्रांच था, तो आई जॉइन देयर बिकॉज माय फ्रेंड वाज देयर, श्याम लंके, हु वाज वेरी सीनियर, मतलब उसको एक्सपीरियंस था, सीनियर माउंटेन फ्रॉम वाईएचए पुणे यूनिट। मैंने श्याम को बोला, श्याम मुझे रॉक क्लाइंबिंग में इंटरेस्ट है, आई वांट टू लर्न ऑल द टेक्निक्स। तो आई विथ माय अनदर फ्रेंड संजय डोईफोडे एंड सुधीर साबे, वी एंटर्ड दैट क्लब और हमने रॉक क्लाइंबिंग चालू किया। तो कॉलेज भी चल रहा था, रॉक क्लाइंबिंग में हम लोग कर रहे थे। और फिर वो एक बहुत ही अलग दिन थे, मतलब किसी रॉक वॉल को देखो, किसी क्लिफ को देखो, किसी पिनाकल को देखो, तो हमारे मन में आता था यस नाउ वी हैव टू क्लाइंब दिस। तो हमारा रॉक क्लाइंबिंग का जर्नी चल रहा था, छोटे छोटे पिनाकल, छोटे छोटे फेसेस हम लोग क्लाइंब कर रहे थे। तो करते करते बहुत एक मतलब 6-7 साल ऐसे गए कि वी क्लाइंब वेरियस पिनाकल्स एंड वेरियस क्लिफ्स इन सह्याद्रीज। तो उसमें से जब एक ऐसा था कि अभी रॉक क्लाइंबिंग बहुत किया, अभी ऐसे मेरे मन में आया था, और मेरे जो क्लाइंबिंग पार्टनर है मेरा संजय डोईफोडे, सो वी डिसाइडेड कि कुछ तो रॉक क्लाइंबिंग में एक बड़े अचीवमेंट करना है। क्योंकि अभी क्या हुआ था, ये रॉक क्लाइंबिंग करते करते मैंने मेरा बेसिक कोर्स 1986 में नेहरू इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ माउंटेनिंग, विच इज द प्रीमियर इंस्टीट्यूट फ्रॉम इंडिया आवर कंट्री, तो उसमें मेरा बेसिक कोर्स कंप्लीट हो गया। और अभी मुझे हिमालय, मैं बोलता हूँ बुला रहा था, ऐसे बोलूंगा तो गलत नहीं, मुझे बार बार हिमालय की याद आ रही थी। सो मुझे एक्सपीडिशन भी करना था। तो लेकिन मैंने और संजय ने तय कर लिया कि नाउ वी विल डू समथिंग इन रॉक क्लाइंबिंग, एक कुछ बड़ा करेंगे, और वी विल स्टॉप डूइंग रॉक क्लाइंबिंग एंड वी विल एंटर द हिमालयन पीक क्लाइंबिंग। तो वी फाउंड व्हेन वी लर्न द टॉप शीट ऑफ सह्याद्री। सह्याद्री में जुन्नर जो एक विलेज है, गांव है, इट इज अ स्मॉल सिटी। तो जुन्नर जहाँ है, शिवनेरी फोर्ट है, जहाँ छत्रपति शिवाजी महाराज का, दैट इज द बर्थ प्लेस ऑफ छत्रपति शिवाजी महाराज। तो शिवनेरी के पीछे 20 किलोमीटर पर जो हमारी सह्याद्री एंड होता है, वहाँ ढाकोबा करके जो टोटल फॉल है कोंकण में, एंड दैट फॉल वाज 3500 फीट। तो इतना बड़ा वॉल, रॉक का जो वॉल है, तो सह्याद्री में कहीं नहीं था। So we decided and we done Reiki and we planned expedition of that Dhakoba rock climbing, and nearly we took 27 climbing days, और उसमें हमने पूरा वो rock cliff climb किया. That was the India's biggest rock wall expedition. So after that तो मैंने हिमालय में एक्सपीडिशन करना शुरू किया। तो उसमें एक हो गया कि 19 that was the year 1986, and in that year I and Sanjay Duifode planned our first independent mountaineering expedition, peak climbing expedition in Indian Himalayas, and that was to Mount Priyadarshini. And we went to Manali. That expedition was successful, but when we returned to Manali, that days there were no communication, ज़्यादा कुछ accessories नहीं थे. We had to communicate to Pune via trunk call करना पड़ता था, मनाली से trunk call लगता था. जब हमने trunk call लगाया तो we had a very sad news. So there was a huge loss of mountaineers from our state. 96 में उसी सीजन में there was a accident in Mount Sahyadris expedition, and in that tragedy one member from Giripremi Nandu Page, another Dr. Minu Mehta and Bharat Mangre, ये उनका डेथ हो गया था. So these were the leading climbers from Pune, and that was very shocking news. गिरिप्रेमी जो क्लब है उसके बारे में तो इट वाज फाउंडेड इन 1982, एंड इट वाज फाउंडेड बाय श्रीमती उषा पागे, आनंद पालंदे, शशि हिरेमठ, वेरी रिनाउंड माउंटेनियर्स फ्रॉम आवर स्टेट. एंड नंदू पागे जो माउंटेनर था जिसका डेथ हुआ था, ही वाज हस्बैंड ऑफ उषा पागे. सो आनंद पालंदे बहुत सारे किताब उन्होंने लिखे माउंटेनिंग पे. वी वर फॉलोइंग हिज बुक्स एज अ गाइड, और वो I was taking his suggestions many times. So after returning to Pune, I decided to meet आनंद पालंदे, और उनके घर हम लोग गए. तो आनंद सर ने मुझे कहा कि उमेश, yes, now there is a very huge loss in गिरिप्रेमी. हमारे जो लीड क्लाइंबर्स नहीं रहे, और there are lot of equipment sets and everything is there, but we are not able to continue the activities. तो आप लोग क्या कर रहे हो? तो मैंने बोला we have just recently हम लोग ने ज्वाइन किया है YHA यूथ हॉस्टल्स एसोसिएशन, and we are doing mountaineering there, but वहाँ ज़्यादा स्कोप नहीं है हमें. तो बट हम कर रहे हैं बिकॉज माय फ्रेंड इज देयर एंड ही इज टीचिंग मी लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स. सो उन्होंने एक ऑफर दिया कि आप लोग आ सकते हो गिरिप्रेमी में. and that was a really very wonderful thing for us. And immediately when I thought, yes, sir, I will join Giripremi with my other colleagues. And so in 1986, I joined Giripremi. और बस गिरिप्रेमी में ज्वाइन होने के बाद तो पूरा मैं बोलूँगा मेरी एक डिफरेंट जर्नी चालू हुई माउंटेन में. I started organizing expedition, leading expedition. गिरिप्रेमी से जो जर्नी चालू हो गई तो वो बहुत दूर तक गई, लेकिन वो बहुत एंजॉय किया मैंने गिरिप्रेमी में, क्योंकि उस टाइम रॉक क्लाइंबिंग भी बहुत कर रहे थे. यू कैन सी यहाँ दिस इज द ड्यूक्स नोज, एक बहुत अच्छा रॉक क्लिफ है. व्हेन वी ट्रैवल फ्रॉम पुणे टू मुंबई, लोनावाला खंडाला से हम लोग उस घाट सेक्शन से देख सकते हैं लेफ्ट साइड में. ये बहुत ही डिफिकल्ट क्लाइंबिंग है, वो हमने क्लाइंब किया. फिर बहुत सारे अलग अलग क्लाइंब हम लोग कर रहे थे. तो उसमें से एक वीडियो आपको शेयर करना चाहता हूँ कि व्हाट इज एक्चुअली रॉक क्लाइंबिंग, कैसे होता है. तो उसका एक छोटा वीडियो मैं शेयर करूंगा. प्लीज वॉच दिस वीडियो. Yes, so this was a small clip of our Katra Kada expedition. You can watch it. You can watch all our films about rock climbing, Himalayan peaks that are available on YouTube. We have a separate channel of Giripremi. So we were planning various expedition, and in 2007, I will say that it was a milestone in the journey of Giripremi's mountaineering, because in 2007, that year, that was the silver jubilee year. Our club completed 25 years. So we decided to celebrate our silver jubilee by organizing various trekking, rock climbing, and Himalayan peak climbing expedition. And the whole year we were busy in conducting various activities, organizing film shows, exhibitions, peak climbing, rock climbing was going on. And the last uska end jo karna tha, we decided that we will close by a very big plan, and that was to climb Mount Shivling. So Mount Shivling is a 6,500 meter high peak, which many mountaineers say as a dream mountain from Indian Himalaya. It is very technically difficult peak, situated in the Gangotri Glacier, in Garhwal Himalayas. It is just on the bank of Gangotri Glacier, and is a very beautiful but very dangerous mountain to climb because it has sharp ridges. And many Indian civilian attempts were failed up to 2007. There was only one successful ascent by Indian Army. So we decided to climb Mount Shivling, and we started preparing. There was a 6-member team, and we properly planned the expedition. We had proper resources. For first time, we imported equipment from outside country, and the expedition was 100% successful. So after the expedition, there were reports of the expedition published in Alpine Journal, which is published from US, and it is something great thing in mountaineering. The article about Shivling was published all around the globe. And we were doing many slideshows of PPT programs in Pune and in Maharashtra. But in one program, I experienced a very different thing. When we completed our program, and after that program, there was a lady who was known to me, and I introduced that lady. I said, Maushi, he is Avinash Kandekar, one of the strong member from my club. Now he is a professor in Pune University. So I introduced Avinash and said he is a very bold mountaineer and he has attempted and he has successfully scaled Mount Shivling. He was on the top of Mount Shivling and something different thing. So I introduced him like that, but the lady also introduced me when I was with him and he was his son-in-law. And he was also there in Himalayas a few months before. And he was there for a trip in Himalaya. He visited few places in Himalaya. And the auntie introduced me that Umesh, he is my son-in-law and he was also there in Himalaya. So what failed me that for that auntie, his son-in-law who had returned from Himalaya, and this Avinash Kandekar is also from Himalaya. They both have visited Himalaya. Now see, I'm very happy. For any reason you visit Himalaya, for any reason, for pilgrimage, for tour, for picnic, or anything, for peak climbing, altitude exposure, I think it is a very wonderful experience. But it that hurt me a lot. What hurt me a lot that for that auntie, his son-in-law visited the place at that altitude. Our base camp also was not situated. And Avinash Kandekar, what he did in the expedition, how he climbed with courage and he succeeded to the top. For that auntie, because of lack of knowledge and because of lack of publicity of these adventure sports in our country, our state, both were the people, both were the guys who only have visited Himalayas. And that hurt me a lot. And from that date, I decided to start that we have to do something. We have to do something, and that is we have to do branding of our sport. And people must know about our sport. And after both sir, when I started thinking, and I concluded my thought that we have to climb Mount Everest. Because when you ask any person that whether you know Mount Everest, so yes, Mount Everest, sabko malum hai. But before going ahead, I think there is a question from Milinji. Milinji also is part of, I will like to share that Milind Halve is also part of Giripremi and he is also an adventure lover. Everybody, I think everybody is knowing him. And yes, Milinji. Please.
Yeah. Can you tell me about what are 8,000er? What do you mean by 8,000er peak?
Yes, Milinji. I'm going to tell that now because just I told that I decided for Everest. I will continue then in that flow. I will definitely tell what is 8,000er.
Okay.
Is the term 8,000er.
Yeah.
So I decided that we should climb Mount Everest. As Mount Everest is known to everybody, we easily use this word. Ki Lata Mangeshkar is Everest. She is Everest in singing. Amitabh Bachchan is he has climbed Everest. In film industry, we use that term. So why not this? Everest is in our sport. So if we climb Everest, so everybody will know about our mountaineering sport, and we can go all over the state, all over the country, and we can educate the people ki what is mountaineering, why we are climbing the peaks, why we are doing this adventure, what we gain from this. That is the opportunity for us. Yes, I express my feelings in our meetings. See, Giripremi Club is all the members, all the supporters are from middle class families, and when I express my this ambition in our meeting, so that time I told all my members and our senior members that the budget of the expedition will be 2.5 crores at that time in 2008. There were different reactions. Ushaprabha Page, who is the founder member, she was so excited that she said, Umesh, yes, we have to do this and we can do this. So I said, yes, Ushatai, it is possible. But on that other side, Anand Palande was something, he was worried that Umesh, how we can raise this huge budget because 2.5 crore to raise because our expedition till that day, then where the budget of our expedition was 3 lakh, 4 lakh, 5 lakh. The highest budget was for Shivling and that was 10 lakh in 2007. So how we will raise this budget was the question in before Parliament. But I said, sir, if we will try, I think it is possible. And finally, it took 2011 to decide for Everest. I think if I will go in the entire story of Everest, there are a lot of experience and there are many things to tell, but I will skip that because till tomorrow, till this time, I can share you. There are many things, right from fundraising, right from planning, actual what experience was there in while climbing and later on also. But all these things were tried to in front of you by way of a very beautiful film. So we have a short film of our Mount Everest expedition of 2012 in English, also in Marathi also. It is also uploaded on YouTube in our channel. And again, there was a second attempt on Everest in 2013, and that expedition was a joint expedition with Everest and Lhotse, and that is also there. But yes, as right, Bilinji has asked, what is 8,000er? So the height of Everest is 8,848 meters. So that height nearly 29,000 feet, and 8,000 the bar 8,000 meters. So 26,000 feet when a human being enters or anybody enters, it is that situation, that geographical part that is described as a death zone. So when we reach the altitude of 8,000 meter, you are in death zone. And why you are in death zone? Because the percentage of oxygen at that level in the air is very thin. It is only 2 to 4%. The temperature is at that level, that altitude, the temperature is -40, and it varies up to -60. So that is the variation. And the winds are blowing at a speed of 100 kilometer, minimum 100 kilometer per hour, and 100 to 150. So because of these all conditions, medical science says that nobody can survive in this adverse condition. Then the question is that how a mountaineer, how a climber reach there, because after reaching the last camp of Mount Everest is at the altitude of 26,000 feet, that is nearby 8,000 meter, from south side also or from north side, because the peak is popularly climbed. Everybody is knowing that Mount Everest was first climbed by a human being in 1965 by Sir Edmund Hillary Sherpa Singh, but humans being started attempting the peak right since 1920. And in 1922, with the famous expedition of George Mallory, there was a tragedy. And till now, we do not know the death of George Mallory, that whether they were on the top of Everest and their death was during the descent or whether it was before summit. We have no idea because no proof is there. But the first successful attempt, which was declared, that was in 1953. And after that, from our country, from India, in 1965, Indian Army expedition was organized, and under the leadership of Captain M.S. Kohli, 9 members were successful to reach the top of Mount Everest. And from civilian side, because see, to organize the expedition to Mount Everest is not only a challenge for climbing because of the many hurdles, but there is the very big challenge to raise the funds. Because so when we declare our expedition in 2011, at that time our budget was 3.25 CR with a team of 13 members. And that team was the India's largest, biggest team which was going to climb Mount Everest. The first teams from civilian, the first civilian team was in 1992, which went to Mount Everest under the leadership of late Dr. D.T. Kulkarni. The expedition was, it was a fantastic expedition with very great achievement. But unfortunately, before the death zone, there was a tragedy. And Dr. D.T. Kulkarni and his another colleague, Raymond Jacob, they both lost their lives. And the expedition was abandoned. All the members were back. Again, in 1998, there was an attempt from Maharashtra only. And Akhil Maharashtra Girirani Mahasangha, the apex body, which I am now president, organized the expedition, and in that expedition, it was successful in 1988. But again, it was from north side because the budget was less from north side, from China, Tibet. And one member from that team, that is Surendra Chavan, he was the first person to reach the top. He's also a member of Giripremi. But after that long period, there was no expedition from a civilian team, and Giripremi organized the expedition in 2011. We declared, and in 2012, on 16 to 19 May 2012, I will say it was the history in Indian mountaineering that 8 members reached with Indian tricolor on the top of Mount Everest, and I think it was a golden moment. But as I explained that 8,000 meter, that dead zone situation is very difficult. The question is how a climber go there, because the last 848 meters for that climb, a climber needs minimum 12 hours. मतलब ऐसा होता है कि journey starts, a climber leaves Camp 3 early morning from 22,500 feet. He reaches approximately at 12 or 11 in the dead zone at the last camp, and there is a rest of 5-6 hours. Then he prepares, and normally at 7 p.m. or 8 p.m., late 8 p.m., the climbers start climbing the last summit push. They start the summit push, and it takes nearly 10 to 12 hours. And in the morning, early morning, 7 or 8 a.m., he or she reaches the summit. And then the descent to the last camp again takes nearly 7 to 8 hours. So a climber has to stay in the dead zone for 2 nights, 3 days. Then how it is possible without oxygen? So normally all climbers are supported with supplementary oxygen, and that oxygen is like in the same way that if a patient is serious and he's admitted in a ICU, there is a continuous oxygen supply. Like that way only, there is supply of oxygen, but here the cylinders are different. Again, there is a lot of challenge because from his boot, snow boots, up to helmet, he wears different type of equipment. He wears his down jacket, he wears harness, carabiners, crampons, lot of equipments. And the weight of all equipment is minimum 12 to 13 kg. The climber has to carry the oxygen cylinder which weighs to 4 to 4 and 5 kg. There is a continuous supply of oxygen to him. And another thing is that the Sherpas, who are the वहाँ के जो local लोग हैं, mountain men, I will say, these Sherpas support all these climbers. They also carry the oxygen. They also support all these climbers to reach the top of Mount Everest or in any expedition. The Sherpas play a very vital role. The Sherpas are there, but if by some or other reason there is something wrong in your oxygen mask, if there is a problem in your pressure or cylinder pressure, and you are not able to get oxygen, then after 10 to 15 minutes, the death is confirmed in that dead zone. So it is a dead zone. And not only the oxygen, but there are many other reasons. You can be frostbitten anytime. You can have, there is a chances of snow blindness. Again, there are chances of pulmonary or cerebral edema very suddenly. Now see, when we are crossing that dead zone, when we are going higher in the altitudes, the vital organs of our body are now deteriorating. So it is very necessary to reach the top and to escape from the dead zone as early as possible. So that is a very different game, and it is not only possible because of, yes, definitely you have to do strong physical fitness exercises. You must be physically fit. You must have experience before going to the 8,000 meter altitude. You must have climbed peaks of 6,000 meters, 7,000 meters, then on you have to climb for 8,000 meters. But what is the journey ahead 8,000 meters? I believe it is a strong mind game. When you are mentally strong, then only this is possible. But that is the dead zone, so it is described. Yes, I told there are many things happen. There happen lot of things which are very different in our life. So you can see in this slide, there is a big crevasse and climbers are crossing with the help of nearly 6 ladders are tied to each other, and they are crossing this crevasse, very deep crevasse. From Nepal side, our expedition was from south side, south ridge, and from Nepal there is again a big challenge. After base camp, immediately when we have to reach camp 1, there is a big ice fall, that is Khumbu ice fall. That Khumbu ice fall is also described as a dead zone because there are many changes always. We have to cross this ice fall in early morning hours. We start from base camp at early at 2 a.m. and we try to reach the camp 1 at 8 or 9 p.m. 9 a.m. Sorry, before the sunlight. So the melting is not started and easily we can cross the crevices because these crevices, there is a movement in this ice fall and a lot of accidents have been there. There are a lot of deaths in these crevice filled area. If you Google, you will see that after every 10 people, climbers who are attempting Everest, the ratio is 1 for Everest. But yes, people are going because Everest is Everest, highest mountain from our planet. And yes, Giripremi scaled Mount Everest, and that was a huge success. Before our expedition, we were very fortunate to have the flag off ceremony in President House of India, Maharashtra Bhavan in India. That time, Honorable Pratibha Patil was the Rashtrapati President of India, and with her auspicious hand, I received the flag. That was a very proud moment to take our country's flag to the highest mountain when there were nearly 40 expeditions from all over the world, from US, French, Japanese team were there, from Chile, from Japan, from all over the world there were expeditions. And when we climbed Mount Everest on 19 May 2012, if you Google, you will see that on that day, on the last summit ridge, there were 7 casualties, 2 Canadian, 2 Germans, and different members from other teams. They lost their life because of very different reason. Some were dehydrated, totally they were dehydrated, some had snow blindness, and there were 7 deaths, but we were very fortunate that our entire team reached the top and they returned safely to the base camp. In mountaineering, it is rightly said that yes, it is optional to reach the top, but it is mandatory to come down, to descend down safely. And it happened in our Everest expedition. When we returned back to Pune and our state, everybody, there were many functions, there was celebration. And now people start asking, now Umesh, what Giripremi has scaled Everest, now stop for this peak climbing. So our answer was no, now a big dream was ahead. There are 14 mountains in Himalayas and in Karakoram. They are above 8,000 meters. And these all 14 mountains this is a club of 14 mountains, 8,000 mountains. And there are nearly 45 to 47 climbers from all over the world who have scaled all these 14 mountains peaks. But there is no Indian who has climbed all 14 peaks. So we decided that yes, we will start this journey in Giripremi, and it started in 2012. 2013, we organized an expedition in Everest region only. Next to Everest, there is Mount Lhotse, which is the 4th highest mountain, a very tough mountain. Unfortunately, my 3 climbers, tough climbers, Bhushan, Ganesh, and Anand could not summit Mount Everest because there were a lot of things happen. Anand and Ganesh has to return only from 400 meters because of lack of oxygen supply due to their mask problem. And we decided to give a second chance to them. And it was a joint expedition to Mount Everest and Lhotse. It was successful. So Lhotse was climbed in 2013. Everest was also climbed again. 14, we organized expedition to Mount Makalu, which is the 4th highest, which is the 5th highest mountain in Mahalangur range. It is also situated in Nepal. A very difficult and very cold mountain. And that expedition was also successful. It has a very different story because in that expedition, our climbers have to return back from the summit camp to base camp, advanced base camp, because of some difficulties. But again, we organized the expedition with all the gears, with all the stuff, and it was successful. In 2015, I was there in Kathmandu, and there was a massive earthquake in Kathmandu and in Nepal. So we decided to do rescue work. And my entire team was there. For 15 days, we were going with small teams in very remote areas nearby Kathmandu. And we tried to help from our side, a few doctor members also there. And we tried to help maximum people for many things. and we returned back. In 16, now as in 15, there was no expedition. We decided to again organize the joint expedition. And our aim was to climb Mount Dhaulagiri and Mount Choyu, the world's 6th and 7th highest mountain. Dhaulagiri is situated in Nepal, and Choyu is situated in Tibet. So we have two teams, and simultaneously they were going in the mountains. There are also very different stories of Dhaulagiri and Choyu, because in Tibet we have very different experience, and Dhaulagiri is also one of the difficult mountain. If you Google, you can see the result of Dhaulagiri. Few climbers from the world are succeeded. So these both expeditions was successful. So see, it requires a lot of planning, lot of efforts from every angle. To organize an expedition to Himalayan peaks is not an easy job. It takes many things. But now we were gaining a lot of experience. Our members were gaining, and the journey was going on. There was also a unique idea because a lot of funds were required, and so we established a 8,000er club. I think in any sport, to support a sport like mountaineering, it was a unique idea. The concept was there was no premises or nothing, but it was only concept. You become a member of this club, you contribute a few amount by way of membership, and you continue supporting this 8,000 club. So I'm very proud and very happy to tell you that Milinji also here is pioneer of our 8,000 club of Satara division. Milinji and Dr. Sandeep Srotri, they both took this responsibility, and they supported in a lot of way, because one of my member, Ashish Mane, who is a very good climber, and he's also awarded by Shiv-chhatrapati Award. He's from Satara, and he is the only mountaineer from Maharashtra, youngest mountaineer from our state and country to climb Mount Everest. And he is the only now mountaineer who has scaled 8,000 peak from Maharashtra. So the journey was going on. Dhaulagiri was successful. Later on, we came to know from the statistics from Nepal Tourism Department that Ashish was the first Indian to scale Mount Makalu in 2014. Prasad Joshi, Ashish Mane is a computer engineer. Prasad Joshi is a cost accountant, is a practicing cost accountant. And he is the first Indian civilian to scale Mount Dhaulagiri. The journey was going on. 2017, we had again a small team with Ashish and with Akshay Patke. That Akshay Patke is a very fine climber, fine rock climber. Nowadays, he's situated in US. He's in Los Angeles, and he's a mechanical engineer. So Akshay he has climbed Mount Manaslu. Manaslu is the 8th highest mountain. Yes, from in this series. So in 2018, we again took a pause, because now our target was Mount Kanchenjunga. Mount Kanchenjunga is a very difficult mountain, and it is the highest mountain from India. The highest mountain near Sikkim. It is situated at the border of Nepal and Darjeeling, India, Sikkim state. And it is very difficult, because if you learn from the statistics, in 2019 we planned the expedition, and till that year, there were only 360 climbers who were able to reach the top of Mount Kanchenjunga. It's a very difficult mountain because of its geographical condition, because of its weather pattern. And if you compare with Everest, now see nearly 7,000 climbers from all over the world are able to scale Mount Everest. Considering the total population of world, the number is very negligible. But if you compare with the numbers to Kanchenjunga, you will see that Kanchenjunga, there were very few climbers who could make it. So now our target was Mount Kanchenjunga, and it is the 3rd highest and very difficult, dangerous mountain. So we decided, and again I decided to have a big team, and the team was of 10 members. We started planning for the expedition preparations, but now we decided that we will do some different work also, because there was one incident when we were climbing Mount Everest. There is a lab before Everest last Gorakshep. There is one stay. So after Lobuche, there is a pyramid. There is a lab from Italy. And in that lab, the various researches are going on global warming. So when we visited that lab, they said that that the lab in charge asked, where are you going? We said we are going to climb Mount Everest. So he requested, can you bring some soil samples, snow samples from 6,000 meters, 7,000 meters, 8,000? Yes, we said that it is possible. Then they gave us, they provided a few bags with a few bottles, and they were geotagged, everything was there. And we collected the samples from very virgin area and we handed over. We do not know what was going on. But just when we were telling some scientists, our scientist friend in Pune, from Pune University and from Agarkar Institute, they said, Umesh, this is very valuable thing because we want we want this material, raw material for our research, but we are not able to reach there. So next time you see that you will do this. So in 2019, we decided that we declared that expedition as an eco expedition, and we decided to do a lot of work for the sample collection. So for that, a different committee was deputed, and all the interested and all the persons from environment and all researchers were in that committee. And for the samples were going to be collected for Pune University, for Agarkar, for Pras Maastricht, for Wadia Institute, and for various labs. And we trained our members, and not only our members, to support Mount Kanchenjunga expedition. There were two different groups who were going to the base camp of Mount Kanchenjunga from Indian side, from Nepal side. And all these 40 trekkers also decided to do this work. And they were given different tasks. And I'm very happy to tell you, all of you, that right from 3,000 meter to 8,000 meter, the samples of soil, we collected soil samples, we collected rock samples, water samples, algae, diatoms, various samples were collected in a very systematic way, geotech, and the samples were given to the respective labs or research institutes. And till that also, many international papers are published and the research is going on. So that's why we declared, but yes, that was the part of expedition. Kanchenjunga is a very difficult mountain. Again, I will not go to the entire story of this mountain, but a very dangerous mountain. I want to tell you that to live in mountains, you can see with these cold temperatures and with all adverse things is a very difficult situation. It requires a lot of not only courage, but it requires, always I tell that it requires a lot of mental preparation, because after certain height, after certain conditions, everything is only because when you are mentally fit. If there is a single moment in your mind, no, this is not possible, the climbers give up and they return back. So it is very necessary, and for that thing, I think that a lot of practice for meditation, for yoga, and for some breathing exercise, and a very good team which supports you. We must have very good buddies in this mission, and everything was going on. So Kanchenjunga expedition, again in 2016, it was on 16th May 2019. There was a history. 10 out of 10 climbers from my team scaled Mount Kanchenjunga. They reached the top of Mount Kanchenjunga, and in the history of Kanchenjunga, for first time, such number in a team has scaled. Was successful to reach Mount Kanchenjunga. During that period in 2019, there were nearly 60 climbers from all over the world. And that year, we were leading that entire expedition. So all the international teams were following Giripremi, and I was fortunate to lead all the climbers from all over the globe. There were climbers from Chile, there were climbers from Germany. Again, there were some different things happened. There was a tragedy, not in my team, but in another team from West Bengal, and 2 climbers died at the altitude of 8,000 feet. 2 climbers were going to die, but our entire team, along with the Sherpas, after summiting, when you see all the body is drained, after that also they carried the rescue operation, and we were able to save the lives of 2 climbers, and we brought them down. They are alive. One is from GST department is superintendent. Another is from Bengal police. They are live. And that credit goes to entire my team and my Sherpas. Yes. So the expedition was there. We also brought the bodies of the deceased climber. And that is very difficult thing, but the rescue work was completed. Yes, these are the different experiences in mountaineering. And after Kanchenjunga, our next target was Mount Annapurna, one of the, I will say, deadly mountain, because the death ratio is nearly 35% in Mount Annapurna because of the unpredictable avalanches in the different parts. So, yes, there is one question. You showed the picture crossing the, I think it is from Sandeep Prakash. I will.
Umesh, we can take the questions in the end. You can just, we'll read the chat box and do the questions at the end.
Okay, sir.
Continue your this.
Yes. So after Kanchenjunga, our challenge was Mount Annapurna, one of the deadliest mountain. Whoever climber plans to complete this series of 48,000, the last mountain is Mount Kanchenjunga. Everybody must knowing Reynold Messner, one of the world famous mountaineer, who is the first person to scale all these 14 mountains, is from Italy and a very renowned and great mountaineer. So he has also followed that sequence, but we decided to climb Mount Kanchenjunga in 2020. But unfortunately, 3 days before, when we were to leave Pune, COVID was there and everything stopped. And yes, it was very we were lucky that we were also here in Pune only. Otherwise, if we reached Kathmandu, then the situation was worse. But now the expedition was postponed. Monday, that COVID period also, lockdown period, our team was morally high. Our team's moral was high. They were practicing, they were doing their indoor physical fitness. We looked this period as an opportunity, and we developed a women mountaineers team also with a lot of efforts. And in 2021, when all the situation was normal, we went to Mount Annapurna, and in record break days of 14 days from base camp to base camp, Annapurna expedition was successful without a single. There was no casualty, was far away, but without a single accident. Nothing happened in that expedition, and all my members safely returned after climbing Mount Annapurna. So till 2021, we scaled 8,000 mountains, high peaks. And I think I'm very fortunate that Giripremi gave me an opportunity to lead all these expeditions. I was there, I was leading all these expeditions. All these expeditions are 100% successful without any accident, without any small accident also. Every members return their home safely, and this is a big success, we believe. And now, as an Indian, the open peaks are completed. 5 8,000 peaks like K2, the second highest peak, Nanga Parbat, Gasherbrum, Broad Peak, Gasherbrum 2, all these 5 peaks are situated in Karakoram, in POK, Pak Occupied Kashmir. And as Indian, our army do not allow, no permit is given to enter POK and climb. So we are banned to climb that peaks in POK, in Karakoram. And one peak is remaining in Shishapangma, that is in Tibet, which is occupied by China. And for Indians, for last 3 years, China has banned Indians from that region. Our Kailas Manas, religious program yatra, that is also banned. So there is no entry for Shishapangma also. So nothing. We think till now, whatever was possible, we have completed the journey, and we are focused to Indian mountaineering again. In this journey, that was not thing we were doing only expeditions in 8,000. There are various beautiful and very good attempts in Indian Himalayas also. In Indian Himalayas also, other teams were climbing very beautiful mountains like Sudarshan, Sotopan, John Lee, Srikant, Noon, Poon. The journey was going on, and after completing Mount Annapurna, there is one very good achievement. I want to tell you, all of you proudly, we scaled Mount Manda, a 6,500-meter mountain, which is a very difficult mountain, and which I believe which taught me a lot of things in my life. Because in '89, I decided with a small team, I led the expedition to Mount Manda. We were near to summit, and that was only 400 meters, but we have to come back because of lack of resources. Again, with a lot of preparations, I attempted in '91. Again, in '91 also, despite of many effort, I have to again return from the summit just a few meters before. And the entire Manda ridge, North Ridge, was unclimbed till 2021. That dream was there in my mind I was taking this dream for 30 years. And always I was telling the young mountains in Giripremi, yes, one day we have to climb Mount Manda, which is more difficult. You will not believe, but yes, there were 3 climbers in Manda team who scaled Mount Kanchenjunga, Everest, Dhaulagiri. But they said after climbing Mount Manda, Mama, this is 25 times difficult than Mount Kanchenjunga, a very difficult mountain. And the first expedition from India, there was only successful attempt in 82, sorry, that was from a Japanese team. And after that, first team from India, and that is Giripremi's team, scaled his mountain in 2021. This report is also published in very prestigious journals like Himalayan journals and everywhere. So yes, the journey is going on to climb mountains, to reach the top is, I think, very something different. It is not only adventure, it is beyond adventure. We experience a lot of things there. I think it is a different world where nobody is there. You and nature, you and mountains, and that teaches, that molds, I think, personality of a person, and which has to be experienced. And for that, I always say that for that you did not have to climb all. Everybody should not climb Everest. It is not possible also, or 8,000 peaks. But yes, definitely everybody can go and climb any mountain. You go for a small hike, or you climb a small peak, whether it is in Alps or whether it is in your state, nearby your country, nearby your house, in Sahyadris, you go in Himalayas, anywhere. When you will reach the top of mountain, what feelings are there? What do you achieve? That cannot be expressed. It is experiential learning, and it has to be done. I believe we all mountaineers believe that mountaineering teaches a lot, because for this sport, this adventure sport, you have to go in nature. The ground is nature, and the canvas is so vast that there are many things: the history, the flora, fauna, the wildlife, the colors, the weather. Everything is different, and we are very small. We experience there what we are doing in our real life. But yes, everything changes a person. I would like to share because I could not add the one slide, but all our mountains from Maharashtra are doing a very noble work. In 2016, we have started a helpline under the banner Maharashtra Mountaineers Rescue Coordination Center, and we have large database and various teams in all over Maharashtra. If there is an accident, or if anybody is in difficulty in remote areas, anybody has fallen in mountains, immediately if we receive a call, with very speedy action, our rescue team reaches there and tries to save the person, save the casualty, and we have succeeded to save many lives till date. So that is also unique things our mountaineers are doing. I would like to share you this force is we have government agencies like NDRF, SDRF, and these our mountaineers are working in natural calamities also. During landslides, during floods, they are going because they know the techniques, and without any benefit, without voluntarily, they are doing this as a social responsibility, as a social cause. In Corona also, all these mountaineers were working all over the state as Corona warriors, and they did a fantastic job. So yes, with this, I would like to say that Giripremi, after Kanchenjunga, yes, led Annapurna, but with all these success, we got a lot of support from the society. So I want to share one before going ahead. There is a small short film of Mount Kanchenjunga. We'll watch this, please. On the summit. Yes, so I was telling that because of all these achievement, we received a lot of many people from not only from our entire country, from all over the globe. Many supporters are supporting Giripremi, and because of all this support and love, we were able to establish, we start a Mountaineering Training Institute, and that is Guardian Giripremi Institute of Mountaineering, which was founded in 2015. It is founded in Pune with a vision to spread this adventure culture and to bring adventure in education. And we are doing it under this banner. We are getting a lot of, it is a Section 8 NGO private limited company, and a team of passionate mountaineers are working with this institute. It is the first of its kind private institute from the southern part of our country. In our country, there are national institute, all are situated in north in Indian Himalayas, at Uttarkashi, Manali, Darjeeling. Himalayan Mountaineering Institute is there in Darjeeling, Jammu Kashmir. And yes, all of you must knowing that in Darjeeling, the institute was led by Sherpa Singh. But this is the institute. It is a dream of many mountaineers from Maharashtra, and we are going on. I am happy to tell that for the first time in our country, we have started a full-fledged one-year diploma in mountaineering with Savitribai Phule Pune University, which is one of the top 10 universities from our country. And now, because of this, mountaineering is part of adventure, is part of education, which is a necessity of today's date, we feel. So, GJM is doing very well, and a lot of people, a lot of adventure lovers are supporting GJM. You can see a few glimpses of our activities. We have various programs, we have various short courses, curriculums for all ages, for everybody in the society. If you visit our website ggm.in, you can see we are organizing various expeditions, also organizing rock climbing courses. We are engaged in a specific program for children, for kids of 10 to 16 years, which is named as the 5 years training program, which is named as Ahwan Nirman Udan ANU, and which is a very successful model. Kids get a change in this lifestyle. So always I believe that mountaineering is not only a sport because sometimes it is a very debatable issue how mountaineering or how adventure can be a sport. But yes, definitely it is a sport. Adventure is a sport because people ask in sport there is a race, there is a competition. Somebody is first, second, third. Yes, definitely. When we are climbing mountains, there is no competition. The competition is with myself only. When I am climbing, the competition is with me. There is no competition with other. But yes, to climb a mountain, to climb a peak, to climb a rock wall or a rock pinnacle, you require a specific training, proper guidance, proper practice, and then only you can go ahead. So as an athlete, we practice, but the first step in mountaineering, that is a trekking, a hike, anybody can join. There are plenty of examples, not only in our country, but all over the world, that people at the age of 96 also are fit and doing trekking. They are going for hike. A very legendary mountaineer. We have very lot of respect to Sir late Professor N.K. Mazen, who is not with us, but a very legendary personality from our Pune. At the age of 96, we call him Abba Sahib. We called him. Abba Sahib was climbing Siagat, Fort Siagat. At that age, he was going to Indian Himalayas at altitude of 15 to 16,000 feet for twice in a year. He is not now 3 years before he left us. But yes, when we only see to Abba Sahib, only hear to Abba Sahib, we got energy. When people ask Abba Sahib, Mazen sir, from where you get this energy? So entire credit he was giving to this sport, this activity. Shiv-chhatrapati, who is founder member of Giripremi, founder president of Giripremi, at the age of 80 is also she is in mountain. She's fit and fine. When she was 2 years back, 78, so because of her both knee problems, doctor suggested, now Ushata, you stop, you need operation, you get operated for your both things, so then only you will be able to walk. She entirely refused. No, why I cannot stop climbing. If I stop climbing, I will die. And she did a lot of exercises, stretching, yoga. And after that, she climbed Mount Kilimanjaro, which is situated in Africa's highest mountain in that area. So that is a great example before us. She is always in mountains. Recently, last week before, she has completed hike of Mount Harichandragarh from 14 different ways, and that are called as Ghatwatas. She climbed up Harichandragarh, went from a different way down in Konkan. Again, she climbed up. So that's one. So yes, mountaineering is something different, and it is. I always say it is beyond a sport. I believe mountaineering is a wonderful way of life. Mountaineering is a life. It must be a lifestyle of a person. It is a very wonderful lifestyle, and I am enjoying this lifestyle. Trying to write a few books for kids, for all our experiences from this Everest and other expeditions on Sherpas, which are beloved friends of mine. There is one book published in English and Marathi also on Sherpas. There are 14 characters, and all are climbers. No doubt they are climbers, Sherpas who have climbed Everest from more than one. Sherpa is Kami Sherpa, who has legendary climbers who has climbed Mount Everest for 26 years. 26 times he has climbed. He was in Pune for promotion of our Kanchenjunga expedition. I have written a few things about them because as I was closer to them, I saw different personality in them, different people in them. A Sherpa who has studied only 2 standard is a successful businessman with a leading Sherpa agency company with a lot of turnover. A Sherpa who was not able to become a climber, who was neglected. He was not taken as a kitchen staff also. That Sherpa has started business, and now he is a big player in Asia. He is the stockist of all these big brands. And what is his journey? A Sherpa who has established his own brand, or who started establishing a mountaineering museum, a museum on Sherpa Kaji, running the museum at the altitude of 40. So for me, these are a few characters, inspiring people. So I tried to write all these in Sherpa book. And yes, this is the journey till now. I'm enjoying this journey. Again, if you want to contact Giripremi or GJM, you can visit our website, and I've given one contact number, who is the colleague from my institute. If you are interested in any thing for mountaineering, we are there as Giripremi and GJM. And yes, Sandhiji and Farooqji, I think this much is.
Yeah. So thank you. Thank you,
Yes.
Umesh. And if we can stop sharing, then we'll take the. So the first person I will ask is Mustafa. Would you like to ask any question to Umesh? Mustafa? I would request all the panelists to put on their this. If Mustafa is not available, then I would request Sandeep Prakash Bhide to ask his question. He has written down in the chat box. But
Yes,
please go ahead, Sandeep.
Here there is one. I will explain that there is a question that how the ladders are placed. We had seen a picture. There were 6 ladders to each other, and the crevasse was nearly 50 feet in width. So yes, the ladders are joined, and with help of rope, they are placed on the other side. And the first climber who crosses the ladder, he crosses the ladder with, yes, definitely with support, delay support behind from a second climber, but it is a very risky job. Sometimes there are chances that if the second part, other part is not placed properly, the ladder can go down, because we do not know the snow conditions there, and he can have a big fall. But yes, there are incidences, but it is a very courageous thing, and we have to do it. That is the thing. There is a next question, how whether you have climbed outside India. Yes, we have done a lot of expeditions to Mount Everest, Mount Kilimanjaro, and I think Sandeep Prakash, somebody has said that he was fortunate to meet Nawang Gombu. Yes, really, Nawang Gombu, I think Sandeepji has said, Nawang Gombu was a legendary mountaineer from our country. He was the first. He is a relative of Sherpa Singh, and he is the first person who had climbed Mount Everest twice. He had the record. He was the record holder climber, and he was a senior instructor from Himalayan Mountain Institute, HMI Darjeeling. Yes, so anybody can go ahead.
Yeah. I will request now Dr. Eraj Burucha and Milind. Umesh, you mentioned about Meenu Mehta. So
Yes.
Meenu Mehta was my classmate in St. Vincent School and a close relative of Dr. Burucha. And Burucha is a very experienced environmentalist and a surgeon. Dr. Saab, please.
Thank you, Farooq, and thank you so much for this wonderful presentation. Really, I really enjoyed it. I am not a mountaineer, but I learned a lot about mountaineering through my cousin, Dr. Meenu Mehta. He was also very well known because he was the doctor for Bachendri Pal's expedition to Everest. And in fact, me and my wife were the last people to see him from the family alive before he went off to Satopant, and with Page, unfortunately went down in an avalanche. But he taught me a lot about the grandeur and the awe and the splendor of the mountains. And that was a very revealing thing for me, because as a wildlifer, as a nature photographer, this became a very important part for me. I think what is very important for us to understand is that actually the Himalayas were out of bounds for people from outside the Himalayas for centuries before we sort of started going into the Himalayas, because the local people said this is not for outsiders. And that was something very, very interesting. And probably that is how they saved their mountain ecosystems. To me, the ecology of this fragile system is absolutely very fascinating. And I've been to Ladakh, and I've been to some low-lying areas. For you, it would be low-lying areas of the Himalayas. And I've been incredibly spellbound every time I went into the mountains. To me, I think it's very important that we also understand it, and people as mountaineers should understand the fragility of this ecosystem and the fact that you have We have so many fantastic things, even at global levels. The Valley of Flowers, for example, which is an incredibly valuable place. And you mentioned wildlife, of course, the snow leopards, 8 species of sheep and goats, the black-necked crane of Ladakh, which I looked for and found eventually with chicks some years ago. And this whole thing of pheasants and the birds that are there and the birds of prey that are there, which are now very heavily threatened. And I wonder what will happen. One of the growing impacts will be of unsustainable mountaineering. And how are we going to deal with waste management? And we know about Everest and what has happened there. So I think we need to understand what was there. And I've had many mountaineer friends. As you rightly pointed out, Pune has had a large number of mountaineers throughout. And another friend of mine was Dr. Dilip Talekar, who also unfortunately died in Ladakh. So these are people who have they've been heroes. I mean, incredible guys who had the grit and the ability to do this. But I must tell you that I really admire the Sherpas who I have met. Sherpas, Tamans, these are mountain people who are incredibly fascinating. The shepherds there. And for me, going to Ladakh and talking to these shepherds was a very enlivening experience. They have had fantastic things. They've had these Tibetan antelopes from which they chiru, from which they made these tremendously incredible shawls. There were shepherds now who make shawls out of Pashmina goats, and they're people of the mountains. And I think that's what's so incredible about these people. And today, it's a border area. And for us, this is ours. And I think this is very important to understand what is happening in Pangong Lake. I've been to Pangong Lake and gone out in one of our launches, and actually to the Chinese side and back. But we need to understand that whatever we do, we have to save those mountain places which are our territorial right. And I think we have a less understanding of this. And I think mountaineers should really bring this out, Umesh, that these mountains, the border is a very, very sacred thing for our country. And how do we keep those sacred mountains ours and not allow some foreign nation to try and put their feet on this? So thank you very much. I've been very fascinated. I wish I was younger and I could have joined you, but I guess that is gone. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Can you ask any question?
Yeah, Umesh, this was an absolutely fantastic presentation, very motivating and very, I mean, it sort of relived. If I had another life, first thing I will do is at the age of 6, 7, start mountaineering. So like, at my youth, I'm absolutely ready to do Everest.
Thank you.
Yeah, one question I had for you is, you wear glasses. So do you wear glasses? In your rock climbing pictures, you've got glasses. So even Everest, did you wear glasses?
Yes, yes. That is one of the worst thing, that whoever wears glasses. So in rock climbing, no problem. But when we are in altitude, so we have to wear a snow goggle to protect our eyes.
Right.
And because of evaporation, the snow is there, and to again clean at that altitude is a very difficult thing. But we manage it. Nowadays, we are able to get some imported glasses of number. So goggle with our number, we are getting it is a customized thing, but we use that goggles, and yes, glasses make it a little bit difficult, because again there is oxygen mask in the higher altitude. So again the glasses troubles.
What has been your life and death experience that you thought कि आज मैं वापस नहीं आ सकता, finished, आज तो it's over? There must be many, but was it? Yeah.
So, fortunately, life and death ka experience nahi tha. There was no experience, but yes, there was an experience in my team. I was there in the death zone in 2013. At the last camp I was in South Pole, and there was a situation that we have predicted. So we get weather reports and we plan the summit push. That is not thing that we start climbing Everest and we go to camp 1, camp 2, camp 3. No.
Right.
We have to make many rotations. We have to get acclimated. That process goes on for nearly 45-50 days.
Yes.
And the last summit push is decided with the proper weather report, which we gather from our weather department. And we plan. When the wind speed is below 40, below 50, then only it is possible in the dead zone to go to the top of Mount Everest or any high mountains.
Yes.
The days are fixed. Normally, the days for last 100 years are between 12 May to 28, 29 May.
Correct. 12th May. Yeah. Oh.
Wind is low. The jet stream was not there in that altitude.
Yeah.
So we also decided in 2013 we start climbing and we fixed the summit date. That was 16th May. Unfortunately, because there were certain conditions in Bay of Bengal, the weather pattern changed. And when we reached South Pole on that day, the wind speed started blowing at 120 plus kilometers per hour.
That was not predicted.
That was not predicted at all. There was no single team, only one foreign team with one member and Giripremi team with our Sherpas. And we could not even pitch our tent. It was very difficult. Somehow it was possible to pitch the tent and we were inside the tent. There were 3 tents. And I was with my Sherpas, Ganesh More, Anand Mali, Bhushan Arche, who could not climb because of different reasons. In previous year expedition, we had a second chance to them. And now the situation was that late night our Sherpas start talking with each other and they were talking that they now started saying that the situation is same like 1996 tragedy. In 1996, all of you must know there was a biggest tragedy.
Avalanche. Yeah.
No, not avalanche. It was
Earthquake.
Storm were there, and 8 climbers, Rob Hall and other commercial expeditions, 8 climbers died in the zone. They were stuck there for 2-3 days, and because of lack of oxygen, because of cold, there were death of 8 persons. Many were injured. And these Sherpas were there in 1996 for rescue operation. So they started reminding and that their consideration, I said, no, Kami Sherpa. So Kamidai, we will not take any risk. We will go back. Tomorrow we will descend. And yes, there are many days remaining. We will again attempt. So when I expressed my feelings, the Kami said, no, Mama, everybody call me Mama, no. See, you do not know now your mountaineers have dehydrated. If you descend down, nobody will again attempt Mount Everest. So then what we will do? What is the thing? There was no option. I thought we could not gather because the stuff of oxygen cylinder was limited and that was limited only for 2 days. And now the only option was there. I start thinking and the only option which was recommended by Sherpa, Mama, you ask any climber from your team to go down. So his 3 cylinders, his Sherpa's 3 cylinders will be there. And remaining members will use for another day. We will stay one more day and we will watch for low winds and we will take a chance.
Yes.
When I thought, then for only it take me not more than 1 minute to decide. And I declared that one climber who will return, yes, the summit was only 848 meters. The last was remaining. But I decided one member will be no other. I will descend. Because as a leader, I had 5 cylinders. There was some safety cylinders. My Sherpa was carrying 4 cylinders. There were 9 cylinders. And I said to my Sherpa, tomorrow morning, early morning, I will go with my Sherpa. He said, no, Mama, you are leader at the age of 49. Why you are returning? You ask any young members, I said no. They have their career, and for me, yes, nothing happened. I, as a leader, am morally responsible. I have promised their parents that they will be safe. Somehow, parents are also putting their faith on me that yes, when Mama is there, nothing will happen. And I decided early morning. I was not sleeping. Yes, definitely. For one moment, I was very nervous, but no nervousness. I early woke up and in another tent, I asked Ganesh and Anand Bhushan. I told them I'm going back. Now my cylinders are there. You have to stay one more day more here. They start crying. They said, "No, Mama, we will look some option." I said, "This is the time. No emotions.
Yeah.
I will call you from Camp 2 on Okidoki, and we will complete this mission." Then immediately I moved to Camp 2, and fortunately, with God's grace and best wishes of many people, the winds were less in the next day. And on 17th May 2013, all of them reached top because the oxygen was there, plenty of oxygen was there, and the scale mountain. If you see our 2013, please watch 2013 Mount Everest film. This is the only film in the entire history of Mount Everest climb. There you will see no traffic, only Giripremi members are climbing on the summit ridge.
Okay.
Also top, there are only 5 climbers with my Sherpa team, 5 to 6 climbers. And we completed the expedition. So many people said, "Mama, you sacrifice." I said, "No sacrifice. It was my duty. It was my responsibility. I was there."
Is a mark of a leader, actually, that you take the. Okay, just one last question. Is
Other people are.
yeah, okay. Yeah, thank you. I'll come back to you, sir. Thank you.
Milind, can you please?
We think,
Is a mountaineer, by the way.
yeah, I am practicing breathing exercise for last 4 years. This advanced breathing technique, and unfortunately, very few climbers in India follow these breathing techniques. They are very simple but very effective. Why we should not take this to further level, so that many mountaineers and climbers, not only going to Himalaya, but basic Sahyadri also, that is helpful. Why not we get it forward?
Maybe it will be a good idea that we get a group of people on Zoom and you can conduct these breathing exercises for them here just as a sample or as an example, you know.
Farooqji, we had a session during lock time of Milinji for these breathing exercises, and our team is following. I am glad to tell that our team, we have get fantastic results. We're getting it.
Okay, Milind, do you have any other question to ask, Milind?
Yeah, another is mountaineering means planning expedition, and that no management school teaches how it is planned and everything. So what are your experiences? Which is your best expedition planning wise and management wise, and which was bad experience you had in your this short career?
Yes, Milinji, as I told Mount Manda, 2 times I decided and I attempted Mount Manda in 1989 and 1991. In 91 with all proper planning, with all resources, then also I have to come back. And I think, for people or for others, the summit was not there. But for me, yes, that expedition, whatever that expedition taught me, then after there was no failure, because from then after, whatever I decided during the planning, to have proper stuff of everything, to have proper practice, there were many aspects in planning expedition, not only physical fitness, to raise fund, to gather the weather report, to study the mountain, to study the weather condition, to select proper equipment, to properly plan the food at lower altitude, for higher camps. There are many things to manage all the people, to manage the porters, to manage the mountain people. Lot of things are there, and to distribute all these work to proper team members. For example, one of the member, Ganesh More from my team, in his free hour, he is searching on the internet, which is the new equipment, which are the researches, because his passion is equipment. So the equipment section is the responsibility is with Ganesh. For food, Ashish. Yes, Ashish is love in with food. So Ashish is planning everything. So to distribute all the things, not only to distribute, to get it done with the people. So I think I always say in my other lectures that a successful expedition is only then I give the credit to the planning, preparation, and 60% I give to this, and 40%, yes, we are there to climb mountains. Karna hi hai na, hame climb karna hi hai.
Yes.
If you do a climb, but if there is no planning, no proper planning, no proper detailing, no proper practice, no, you cannot climb a mountain. So a very important and key factor is that. And I give the entire credit to Mount Manda. Failure is only on paper. We were only 200 meters below the summit, but yes, that failure taught me a lot.
Umesh, there's a question from Mrs. Mukul Ahmed. She's a very
Yes.
active member of Gyanadab. She has
Yes.
sent me a question saying, in today's 2022, do you find young school and college students interested in mountain climbing? And the second question is, can you tell us something about the Sherpas? This is a question from Mukul. Mukul, please answer together.
Yes, Mukulji. Yes, today there is a we experience that there is a lot of craze and many young mountaineers, many school kids and many young our people are adventure lovers are going in mountains, and not only young one, but if you go to Saturday, Sunday, if you visit mountains or other trekking places, you will see many senior citizens also doing well. So I think now in our country, like Western countries or like other advanced countries also, the adventure culture is developed in a fantastic way. 10-15 years before, when Sandeep Prakash was climbing in Sahyadris, I know in that days people were knowing these groups. Yes, these are mad people who are going in mountains. Why they go? Why they are taking this risk? And people were knowing, yes, these are people. But now, see, in weekend, you will see hundreds of people, thousands of people doing a lot of adventure activities. People are doing cycling expedition, people are going in mountains for hike, people are going high altitude treks. Not only in India, people are going all over the world for climbing, for trekking. So I think people have realized the benefits of adventure. The benefits are not only personal benefits, but there are many social benefits. And you remain fit medically, physically, mentally, everything. So yes, there are good days. Again, there are good days for your career. People look now to this area as a career opportunities. Adventure tourism has emerged in a very huge way in our country. There is a lot of turnover in adventure tourism. So yes, there are very good days. Only the thing is, when any sector grows, some bad things are also going on. So that has to be prevented, like pollution, like lack of knowledge, lack of security. Without proper guidance, people are going, and that causes accidents in mountains. So we are trying to educate. Many people are trying for this awareness also. And yes, for Sherpas, yes, Sherpas are 100%. They are great people. Rightly, Bharucha sir has also mentioned, mountaineering is not only a journey to climb a peak and go up and down. Or Mahajan sir always says, he was saying to us that mountaineering is a journey which has to be enjoyed. You have to look left, right. You have to enjoy everything. You have to study from each and every factor of the nature, from the people, from the flora, fauna. Rightly, 21 when I visited Gangotri region, and my first visit in Gangotri region was in 1986. That time the glacier was 2 kilometers ahead. Now that Gangotri snout is 2 kilometers. It is beyond, and seeing the conditions, we are seeing the impact of global warming and all these things which are our mistake. But yes, definitely as mountaineers, we are taking a lot of care in this expedition also, because sometimes many people say there are a lot of garbage in Everest, in mountaineers do this. Yes, definitely we are trying, and now there are many restrictions for all these things, and people are doing a lot of. I believe that a mountain is a nature lover, and that is something great. So he always care, and Sherpa peoples are the mountain peoples I always respect. In our Giripremi's history, nearly for this last 25 years, we have invited more than 70 legendary Sherpas, right from our cook to the great Sherpas who help us to reach the summit. We invited them and we have felicitated them. We're trying to explore. Recently, one of a great Sherpa from Indian Himalaya, from Darjeeling, Ningma Sherpa. Last year, we have honored with a membership. We have gave him honorable membership of Giripremi, and we have recommended him for an award, and he got a Garuda award from Himalayan Club. And we are doing from our side to greet all these people. They are really great. We find many Western climbers, with due respect to them. I have seen all, I'm with these all Western climbers, European, American climbers for many years. And when they return, they write books and they never mention. Unfortunately, Edvistor is my friend. Many friends are there from abroad. They have brought very film. There is a famous IMAX film on Mount Everest, but only for 20 seconds Sherpas are there. That film was supported by my Sherpa friend. They told me, Mamaji, and I know without support of Sherpa, there are only 6 to 7 climbers in the world who can climb. But they also take the support up to base camp. But then they do not mention. But yes, the proper credit has to be given. And really, the people in total, the population overall, the world is only about 1 lakh, but incredible people. Yes, thank you, sir.
Sahir, I would request you to ask your question.
Umesh, thank you very much for your wonderful experiences.
Thank you,
And
sir.
it was very encouraging. I think when you are on the top, the feelings will be like we have conquered the world, and that would be a greater satisfaction, right?
I will interrupt you. We cannot conquer. Always we tried. We could not conquer any mountain. No. We say that we are lucky to reach the top. We always go there, perform puja, and express our feeling that hey, Lord Mountain, we are very much fortunate to reach because of your blessings. We are here, and we pray to you to let us go down safely. Because see, when we are climbing mountain, we are definitely doing some hurt to the mountain. So whenever any expedition start, you can see in films, in Everest expedition also, there is a big puja. All the Buddhist lamas come there, and without that puja performance, no expedition start. Everest, other name is Chomolungma, in Tibetan, mother goddesses of earth. So puja is performed. I have shown for last 15 years. All the people who believe in God or who do not, everybody there go down. Yes, yes. Let allow goddess to go climbing.
I would like Milind. Is there any more question you want to ask, Milind? Your hand is raised. That's what I'm saying.
No.
Okay. Apurva.
Sir, I would like.
Tushar.
Sir, I would like to.
Yeah, Tushar, you're next, please.
Sir, I would like to ask.
Yes,
what type of food mountaineers take before starting their expedition or during trek in Himalayas, especially for Himalayas, and that what they hot lukewarm water or drink during.
Yes, so for food, we have to take care during our trekking or climbing expedition. But before our expedition, yes, we eat normal food here. With we only see that we have proper nutrition, proper food with all proteins, with all everything. And yes, especially for Himalayan climbing, we see that before starting our expedition, 3 months before, we try to increase our weight. So we definitely gain weight, because all the weight is going to be get reduced in that expedition. Because in higher altitudes, though we think that we have to eat, we could not eat because of many reasons. Our appetite get less. We cannot get also a lot of good food there. So in the altitude of 17 to 18,000, normally at the base camp, we eat all our regular dal, bhat, potato, roti, etc. But when we start to go higher and higher to camp 1 to 20,000 feet, 22,000 feet, we have to carry all the stuff. And to make water from the snow, it takes a few hours. So there are butanes, small gases, compressed gases, that is all fuel nowadays. And we have to use everything with proper planning because all these resources are limited. So with few resources, we have to manage our food. So normally at the altitudes, we use the ready-made food. Now there is a lot of variety of ready-made food, soups, from which the food is like that, from which we get instant energy, because the percentage of calorie burning is very huge. So we plan the food. There are a lot of energy bars now in mountains. But yes, it was a challenge to share in for 2012 expedition, what to eat at the South Pole. So there were, fortunately, we had a supporter who is Mr. Pradeep Kulkar now. He's a director from DRDO Pune. he very much close to, and when he knew that there is a problem of high altitude food, he took us to Delhi with the commissioner of army, who is the army chief, and we had a meeting with them. And with that meeting, they decided to provide high altitude energy bars, and they want to make all experiences. And they DFRL is another division. They ordered that Mysore DFRL that you please research and make the food for that team, because during the same period there was a army expedition to Mount Everest. So both expeditions were going to get this food, and our army was doing this because all of you know our Jawans soldiers are there at Siachen up to 22,000 feet. So they are getting the food. So after researches, they developed some energy bars with a variety of flavors. And the commissioner only said that, yes, we are interested in you because you civilians will give us proper feedback after consuming this food, and they want that feedback. Our Jawans are not giving. Everybody writes, yes, it was good. But you people will say what is good. Otherwise, you will say, yes, this was not good. And they want the proper feedback. And the food was there for us. And yes, it helped a lot of, because at that altitude, that energy that must be chewable, and it must give you instant energy. But there is a variety of food now available with a lot of researches, which you can get it immediately, and from which you can get calories and proteins.
So,
And from Indian side, you can see that we use chickpeas also, which are very good. Then there are a variety of foods which are homemade also. We can eat. Sherpas normally eat champa, a local flavor food, which is local grain, which is in high altitudes. And I have seen that they use that champa, which they mix with water and get energy. Yes.
and vegetarian and non-vegetarian, vegetarians can survive without.
Yes, definitely vegetarian can. We avoid Sandhiji that please avoid non-veg, because our appetite is not well at the that altitude. We cannot digest non-veg, so our focus is on vegetarian food. But eggs are there.
So, Umesh, I think we have
Yes,
crossed
yes,
the time
we
limit.
are out of time.
And the type of knowledge that you have brought to this program and the insights that you have given cannot be covered in 1 hour. It's impossible, and you have done a wonderful job. The panelists and the members who have attended have asked wonderful questions. And I would like now Sandhi to give us a formal vote of thanks so that we can go to the end of the program. Sandhi?
Thank you.
Yeah. Umesh, first of all, this was an outstanding presentation. Not only from a presentation perspective, but you also gave me and us a glimpse of what a leader is through your example, where the team is more important than you as an individual. And I think I mean, we have seen many examples. If you read APJ Kalam's book, you will find that he shows the same type of leadership when he was in Israel, which is to put the team ahead of oneself. I think the story how I came to you, Umesh, is probably as fascinating. So I'll take a couple of minutes to share this. Umesh mentioned about Nandu Page, and Nandu Page's wife, whose name is Ushaprabha Bhide. I met her the first time in, I think, 1973 when she was at All India Radio. And I introduced her by saying, I'm Sandhi Prakash Bhide. And she said, oh, really? My name is Ushaprabha Bhide. And for Funda Marathi, you will know Ushaprabha means Sandhi Prakash. So it was kind of a fascinating meeting with her. All through the years, I have kept up with her. Whenever I'm in India, I try to see her and meet her, because she's just, as Umesh was mentioning, she's barely probably 4'9", hardly any fat on her structure. You look at her and you wonder how she survives anywhere. I mean, she's a tiny petite lady. And as you mentioned, she was married to Nandu, and she is one of the bravest person I have seen, because she could not find her own husband. So she had to go back a year later. She did find him and brought his remains back. Through my conversation, that led me to Umesh, to you. And I'm glad she did, because knowing her is a special opportunity, and knowing you today through your enormous adventure is a treat for me. And at my age, I wonder what else I could have done. And definitely mountaineering is something that I should have had the same fortune as you to get introduced early enough that I would have done. I mean, I do trekking, but nothing compared to what you do. One thing that I'm fascinated by, and I would like to add, maybe this is a private conversation, is what is it that technology can do to enhance the mountaineering experience? And what I want to, at some stage, want to know is all the problems that mountaineers face. I only want to hear problems, because there are probably many innovators around the world who can create solutions. One such example that you just said, it takes a long time to melt the ice into drinkable water. That could be an area of innovation. How do you, are there ways that you can harness the oxygen from the air itself, however thin, and make it more concentrated? That could be another area. So there are probably hundreds of areas where we could create a challenge. And I know enough number of accelerators around the world where we could come up with maybe top 10 challenges of mountaineering and give those challenges out to the world to solve, so that the mountaineers' work becomes easier. So I don't want to take too much time. We have gone way beyond, but I
had expected that we'll be crossing 1.5 hours.
Yeah.
Sanjay,
But-
before concluding, I want to introduce Nachiket Joshi from my team. He's the person from my colleague who had prepared all this PPT, a wonderful PPT. So he is Nachiket, and this PPT is prepared by Nachiket.
Very good, very good. So ये तो सब लगता है ना, youngsters and old people together. So Sandhi, excellent for summing it up, and Umesh, thank you very much.
Thank
And
you.
to your Giripremi colleagues and all the people who are involved in mountaineering, Gyanadab se hamara salam.
Thank you.
And please keep up the good work. And yes, Sandhi.
So we
I
want to
just
have
wanted
many
to-
more sessions with you. This is just the first one.
Sure, sir.
That's
Yeah,
exactly
yeah.
that's exactly what was coming up. Umesh, if we could have a specific segment, like a Everest segment, and
Yes.
just come back to us, and just because this is too wide and too thin, we would rather go very focused on all the experiences
Sure.
of a given summit. We
Yes.
would love for you to come back.
Sure,
I mean,
sir,
it
So
You would
Sandhi,
also-
I think we have come to the fag end of the program, and I would like to say thank you to everyone. And Umesh, thank you very much. And to all the
you.
people, all the panelists who supported for this program, I thank you very much. And with this, Umesh, if you give me your permission, I would
Yes,
like
sir.
to close the session. And thank you.
Thank
very
you, Umesh, and climb safe and keep your team safe.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Umesh.
Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye.
We'll be there on Facebook in the next 10 minutes.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Take care.
Okay.